and share it over to Jim Deedlow's page so that you guys could see it there like you normally do. And we're just doing a bunch of tests from now basically through the end of the year. But you can still catch us on Facebook. You can either catch us on the WJOB page or you can catch us on my personal page at Jim Deedlow. And you can also go to YouTube, and I'm going to try it right now. We set something up yesterday. Ryan, was YouTube checked on that thing there? And let's see. Let's just type in my name, Jim Deedlow, Low. You got to spell it right because I don't have anybody. And let's see. Jim Deedlow, 6 videos. There it is. And I believe that I'm streaming live right now. There it is. So you can see me. Wow, do I look gruff? Dude, took a shower and everything. I still look like a laborer's local 41 guy who has just worked a full day. All right, so let me adjust here. Adjust my hair, everything. So you can even get us on the on YouTube now. So streaming live, you got to go to the right page. We don't have any of that links set up or anything, but you type in Jim Deedlow on YouTube and you watch it. So good morning. How are you? What's going on? We have Verley Suggs in here. We're going to talk all about the elections. Anybody get out, have any problems at an election poll, anything that's really crowded already? I went out to early voting on Saturday to Wicker Park, and people were waiting about 2 hours in line. And at the same time, the Greg for Governor bus showed up, and they talked to all the people waiting. I talked to a few of the people waiting. You could see that video at Facebook, Jim Deedlow on there. And that was pretty just eye-opening on how many people are voting and have voted and most likely will continue to vote. Now, we got a little rain here today. You know, as I'm speaking here, I got to tell you that the traffic trumps all here on WJOB, and from about 130th up to the merge going into the Dan Ryan, it's bad all of a sudden, and it's nothing special, just a lot of cars going up in the rain. Now, will the rain hurt or help Hillary or Trump? Probably not a big deal. It's just a sliver of rain reaching down from central Michigan down to central Illinois. It's not a massive storm or anything like that. And then maybe it could affect Michigan. Now, it's raining in the farmlands of Michigan, and that's where Trump is strongest. If it starts raining hard in Detroit, then you might have a little weather effect there, but really not that much. But what about locally? Does it matter? Does it matter that we are raining around here a little bit and we have some 80-94 slow westbound starting at Grant? I don't see that. So we've got a lot of traffic happening in a hurry. All right, that is not showing up at all. That just came in from someone texting that in. 80 westbound slow starting at Grant. Thank you for texting. Highland Precinct 8 at Presbyterian Church by Main Square instead of at Highland Christian School. All right, there it is. The Highland Precinct 8 at Presbyterian Church by Main Square is instead of being at Highland Christian School. All right, there's 10 people already in line at St. John Public Library, just watching the clock, waiting to cast the vote. Okay, thank you. And two have semi pulled over. All right, so on that 80 westbound slow, there's 2 semis pulled over, it looks like. And I don't know if they're getting tickets or if 2 state cops have semis pulled over on. So maybe they're finally starting to ticket people. You ever get on them? Yesterday I got on. I just needed to go from Kennedy to Calumet. And I know you're not really supposed to hop on the Borman and just do little quick hits like that. But, I needed to go from, where was I on Kennedy? I don't know what I was doing on Kennedy. But right there by, I was at Walgreens on Kennedy in Hammond. And I wanted to go to something on Calumet Avenue right by the opening there, like Staples, all right? So I'm like, man, this would be a perfect thing to get on at Kennedy and then get off at Calumet Avenue. And I did so, and that was almost like taking your life in your hands, trying to get on at Kennedy where there's construction, and then the lane shift like 3 times between Kennedy and Calumet. First you go to the right, then you go to the left, then you come back to the right, and then after Calumet it goes back to the left. So I would not recommend doing that. As a matter of fact, if one of my kids did that don't live here and aren't around anymore, I would be like, hey, dude, don't do that. Now I've got a bunch of nieces that are getting their licenses, so maybe I'll adjust them with that way of thinking. It seems like it's been 2 years of the presidential race going on. And we have, kind of stay, we just do what we do here at WJOB, which is like old time radio here in the morning. People call in and tell their opinions, and we have guests, and, we don't endorse anyone, and, really try to stay away from too many people's agendas, although they seep onto the air like it's just like oozing onto the air once in a while, and I get that. I'm all right with that because that's part of the discussion. People have opinions on who should be president, who should be commissioner, who should be whatever, and I get that. But, I just wonder if it all doesn't come back to Mitt Romney's prediction. No matter what happens, Mitt Romney says 47% of the people are going to vote Democratic. It's just how it is. And remember, he got a lot of criticism for that. You guys remember that? He got a lot of criticism for saying that I'm not exactly sure if that was like a racist comment or what. I can't remember the context of it. But that number has stuck in my head as we're watching in this last week all of the numbers on the presidential ballots on all these guys coming out. It's like 47, 42, 48, 43. Clinton over Trump. And I think there's a couple things to learn from that, in that there is a slight herd mentality amongst Democrats to not necessarily expect the best out of their candidates, and they'll just vote Democratic anyways. And on the Republican side, we had Dr. Richard Rupp in here yesterday. We didn't get a chance to analyze it. Richard Rupp is a political science professor. Ryan, we need to get him on again. That man had it going. And you can watch that on WJOB's, correct? Is that WJOB Facebook or? Yeah, we're testing all different places to put the Facebook feed, and we're testing the YouTube feed, and you get the idea. But he brought up something that I thought was very poignant about the Republican Party, and that is that they've kind of lost their way, and they allowed Donald Trump to come in and basically hijack the party from the outside on a populism kind of thing. And he used the word inclusive, and that is not known to be the Republican Party, and that will have to change. If you ask me, there's a lot of really conservative Hispanics that should be in the Republican Party, but you push them away with anti-Hispanic comments. I mean, they're really, anti-abortion, a lot of times in lockstep with conservative Republicans in terms of, gay and lesbian views and maybe even union views, I don't know, and some of the social issues. And they don't want they don't want people getting stuff, they don't want handouts from the government. I worked, my family all worked, and, we shouldn't be handing things out. So really a lot of conservative Hispanics should be part of your party, but you got to get over just being fat white guys at country clubs talking semi-racial jokes and stuff, and then once you get past that, then you win the presidency. Really, that's how it is. But anyways, all right, it's election day. What's going on out there? Let me take a look at some of the texts coming in. Drove past 3 polling places from Lowell to Cherville. All had long lines. Then again, once let me just keep checking the Borman. It's not showing up, but we do have 2 state cops pulling over semis. Anyways, I was going to get to that. You have these semis coming across the country, then they get here on 80 or 94, they come up 65 or 57, however they get to our little area below the lake, and they're just speeding along like they were going out in the middle of Iowa cornfields, and it's not the same. And the cops need to, local cops, and I don't know who patrols that. It's got to be Indiana State Police. Pull people over, ticket those dudes. I mean, that's the only way it gets around that. This is a very dangerous area to be driving on the Borman. All right, hey, let's take some phone calls. 219-845-1100. We're going to bring Verly in a little bit early today because she's here a little bit early. Hey, what's going on, Phil?
Hey, how you doing? I'm at my polling place, and I got a guy here ready to vote as he's going to work. I'll let you talk to him.
All right, let's see what he's doing.
How's everybody doing?
How
Get in here and put my vote in, which counts, before I go to work.
How come so early?
Joel Heda.
Hey, Joel. Hey, why so early?
He's a construction worker.
Oh, nice.
And, he went 597, and he wants to get it done before, in case he stays over tonight. Hey, I got to get in and open my poll.
All right. Thanks a lot, Phil. I appreciate that. Roving reporter Phil and Phil Vanez, the lesser half of he and Janet Vanez, a Hammond City Councilwoman. All right. So we have a lot of races here locally. We're going to talk about the Candelaria Reardon versus Bill Fine. We'll talk Jerry Shippey versus Jerry Tube. Shippey versus Tube. Tube. That would be. I guess that's all you could really do when you only have two. Shippey versus Tube. All right, we were doing a little test there. And Ryan, don't do it yet. We're going to play this again, okay? This is perhaps some of the best radio ever on WJOB, put together by the late Preacher, who would be loving it right now. Sorry, Preach. He would have loved it that his Cubs won the World Series, and he would have loved it. All the stuff's going on with Trump and Clinton, we can just imagine. Thanks a lot to Big George for finding this and sending it in, and Bill Baker for prodding it to happen. All right, on the other side of this, it's 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And we'll have a couple spots, so I'll see you in about 3.5 minutes. But you're not going to want to miss this. This is from the Preacher. You remember? Now, I got to give you a little bit of context here, because in the Indiana primary, when it was Obama versus Clinton, and much in play. And it's fairly obvious right now. It was just a shrewd political move that Rudy Clay was sitting on the votes in Gary to present an appearance to the country that Barack Obama might win Indiana. And when it came down to it, I think Hillary wound up winning Indiana. Is that right, Ryan? But what happened was they had some guys that went back from the Associated Press, or was it Washington Post? I can't remember. And they went back and they said exactly what I was saying the next morning after this happened, was that was the turning point in the election, and that it looked like if Barack Obama could at least cast doubt about winning a traditional state, and it gave the attention and the appearance that Barack Obama was having a major momentum, but it was all due to Rudy Clay kind of sitting on the votes. All right, that's one interpretation of it. But these guys went back and they analyzed where was the turning points in the election, and they came down to the turning point was Rudy Clay versus Tom McDermott talking to Wolf Blitzer on CNN, and they were arguing for several minutes about Rudy just released the votes, and he's like, "Oh, what'd you say? Oh man, what's going on?" And the more that he sat on the votes, the more of that momentum built for Barack Obama. It was a shrewd political move. People do it all the time, and Preacher made it into a little bit of a hanky-panky, and you're going to listen to it right now. And then we'll take a break, and Verly Suggs and I will be right back. It's voting day, people. How appropriate. Tom McDermott, Rudy Clay, Wolf Blitzer, and the hanky-panky.
My baby does the hanky-panky.
Mayor McDermott of Hammond, is there a recent history in Lake County of hanky-panky, Mayor McDermott?
It looks improper.
Mayor, you want to respond to that?
There is no hanky-panky going on here in Lake County, Indiana.
This is ridiculous.
Well, first of all,
This is ridiculous.
well, I think I've explained it 4 or 5 times here, and
This is ridiculous.
Try one more time to explain to me and to a lot of our viewers who simply don't understand why it took 4 or 5 hours to at least bring some of these votes up to speed.
we're not going to disenfranchise anybody.
This is ridiculous.
When do you think we will get the rest of the vote in Lake County?
They're counting them as we speak, Republicans and Democrats.
This is ridiculous.
Help me! Help me! Help me! Somebody help me! Help me! Help me! Help me!
Do you understand, Mayor, why it's taking so long?
This is ridiculous.
When the votes are counted, everybody in the world will know.
Oh, good. But
This is ridiculous.
They're counting them as we speak.
What I'm saying is, this is a computer. I mean, how easy is it to turn over a computer so that the media and everybody knows what's going on?
Yeah, man, I tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, get in there, talk about www.com, and you got them naked chicks on there, man. You go click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
That's what we're doing, counting them up.
But it's a computer. This is ridiculous. But it's a computer. I'll be honest with you. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Calm down, diddly 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 diddly. They did their best, shoddily diddly diddly diddly. Gotta be nice, hostility diddly diddly diddly. Ah, hell, diddly ding dong crap! Can't you morons do anything right?
This is ridiculous.
My baby does the hanky-panky.